So here's that case study we promised you. It's going to be high impact. It's going to be under 5 minutes, but we're going to cover a lot, so please pay attention to the detail. Now, the first thing I need to cover is the philosophy that underpins all of this, which is leads create time. Now, that might be counterintuitive to you because you might be thinking, the more leads I have to chase down, the less time I've got. The more quotes I'm sending out, the less time I've got. But I'm going to show you how more leads and more sales actually does cover a multitude of sins, including time. Now, we recently did a survey among contractors in the US, and we got back a surprising answer. 60% of them said that when they head out for a quote, it takes them 2 to 4 hours to get back to their desk, and that excludes the time putting the quote together and then redoing the quote as the negotiation invariably ensues. Now, let me show you practically how our clients solve this problem. So this is just Google. You can double check me and just do this yourself, but I'm going to punch in, do I need a permit to put up a fence in Waterloo? Just like that, like a client would. And what happens is the city of Waterloo in Canada comes up, but after the city, our client's website pops up because we had a good article written for them about the bylaws in that city, and voila, it comes up. I'm going to try the same thing in another city because you may think of Google as an international internet giant, but actually when people use Google, it's very region specific. It's very town and city specific. So same thing happens with Hamilton. City of Hamilton comes up and voila, there is our client. Now what happens with them back at the office is that obviously they get a lot of calls. And what they do is only 70% of those calls that come through that say, I want a fence, actually get a quote. The other 30% is people they choose not to deal with for a whole host of reasons. And an extremely high percentage of 50% of those quotes they send out, this is fresh numbers, we recently interviewed them to get this number, 50% of those quotes close. And here's how that creates a time solution, even though you might think it would be a bigger burden on their time. So the first thing they decided to do was, because they had the luxury of lead volume, that they would do all the small quotes by phone. What I mean by that is they would get the details they need, issue a quote, be aggressive on their price, and get the client to agree upfront that they're happy with the price. Obviously, they would need to eventually go to site to conclude the transaction, but the price was pre-agreed. And they would actually do the same thing with any quote that is more than an hour's drive to the site. They would do that quote by phone or email, get pre-agreement that, hey, you're happy with this, can we go ahead, we'll come out to confirm. And that's how they would wind up closing more business and spending less time, all on the back of that search, that Google search, and no paid ads or anything like that. Now, if you've listened to this case study and you think, hey, I need to do something like this, we want to encourage you that you can do it yourself. You just need somebody to show you what to do, how to do it, and more or less how long it's going to take you to get the kind of results we're seeing here, and we're here to help. You don't need an expert. You don't need to go and pay somebody. In fact, the only people who should ask us to do it for them and pay us to do it should be people who, you're so out of time, your business is growing, you've got other things to attend to, and you'd actually lose money by trying to do this yourself. Those are about the only people who should perhaps be having a conversation. Of course, you're welcome to get in touch. But the majority of you should be using our help to do this yourself. You don't need paid advertising. You don't need to hire some guru on the internet. We'll help you figure it out. That's what this group is all about. Hope that case study was helpful.